the little panda cubs, come sit down and have a chat with Big Sis. Am I really trans enough? I don't feel trans enough to be trans. Am I a real trans person? This question and the variants of it, we've all been through that, especially me, and nobody understands how that feels more than me. Okay, I promise you that nobody understands more than me. That's because when I transitioned, I did it completely for the wrong reasons. I was a drug addict. I used to be a drug addict, right? And back when I first transitioned and first started this channel and stuff, I was off my flaming tits 24/7 on amphetamines, cocaine, ecstasy, anything I could get my hands on, really. I'd be awake for like 3 years, sometimes even 4 days a week, right? And then I suffered what was drug-induced psychosis. Now, my psychosis was quite benevolent, but it made my mind a little funny. On Twitter one week, it thought it would be funny if I turned into a girl. I played an ironic trans person. At first I was just an ironic trans person, and I wasn't really trans. I was just pretending to be one. And then I decided to go for it for real, and ordered hormones. I was justifying it then by punishing myself for my past. Well, past you was a complete ass. So maybe transitioning is your road to redemption. Now, it wasn't really me thinking this again. I was suffering psychosis. I was seeing secret messages everywhere. My mental illness was telling me to transition, right? And it was about 3 months after I started HRT. I'd actually quit the drugs, and then I stopped suffering and this psychosis. The psychosis went away, but I still carried on transitioning because I realized, I woke up one morning and realized I was happy. I liked being a girl. Then I think I realized then that I wasn't just being ironic, and I wasn't doing this because it was funny, and it wasn't really a punishment either. I realized I was using copes. I was coping, as the kids on Twitter would say. I was doing a big cope. I was sort of justifying and rationalizing my own transition in weird roundabout ways that a drug adult brain would, I guess. So because of that, I suffered these thoughts. Well, I'm not a real trans person because of the way I transitioned. And yeah, a real trans person would have gone to a doctor and been diagnosed with dysphoria, right? And that's sort of how I thought. So for months after, I always used to say, no, I'm not a real trans person. And yeah, I'm transitioning, but I'm not like a real trans person. I'm not trans enough to be a real trans person. Yeah, and I told you that story just so you know that I do understand, and I'm not really saying it. I really do. So about now, do I still think those thoughts? No. I am a real trans person, and I am trans enough to be trans, and so are you. I'm gonna let you in on a not so secret. And now it's not secret, it's kind of obvious, but we seem to forget this, right? Cis people don't question their gender, right? I had a conversation with a friend a while back, and I said to him, we were talking about this, and I said to him, well, I've always wished I was a girl, but all boys secretly wished I was a girl. And he's like, what? No, that's not right. I was like, yeah, all boys secretly wish there was girls, so I don't think that makes me trans, is just because I've always wished I was a girl. And he goes, no, we do not all secretly wish we're girls. So I asked a couple more male friends, and they confirmed what he said. They've never had that thought or questioned or wished there was a different gender. Cis people do not question their gender. They don't wish there was another gender. The fact that you're questioning your gender means you are trans enough. Have you ever had a passing thought that you wished you was the other gender, or you don't feel like the gender you was assigned? Then the question you should be asking yourself really is, am I cis enough? Not am I trans enough, am I cis enough to be cis? And if the answer to that is no, then you're trans, and you should accept that. Listen, we believe everything is on a spectrum, right? Sexuality is on a spectrum. Autism is on a spectrum. Everything's on a spectrum. Gender is a spectrum. So, transness is a spectrum. Don't really like putting it that way, because that's just somebody's more trans than others. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, on one end of the trans spectrum, you might have somebody with crippling dysphoria who medically transition at the advice of doctors, right? And then on the other end of the spectrum, you might have people who just have mild passing thoughts that, yeah, I don't like my assigned gender either. Yeah, I kind of wish I was the other gender, right? Two sides of the spectrum. I guess the suffering spectrum. One's clearly suffering more than the other, but that doesn't make either any more or less trans, right? That's what I mean. You're still both trans. You're just as trans as this person, and this person's still trans as that person. It takes time and understanding of yourself to get over this imposter syndrome, because that's it, and that's what it is. It's imposter syndrome. I don't feel trans enough. You have to actually start living your life in the way you want and the way that makes you happy, because that's all that matters in the end. Whether you're trans enough or not, it's irrelevant, or at least it should be irrelevant. Are you happy? Are you comfortable in your own skin? If you're not, those are the things you should be working towards, and those are the things you should be worrying about. I posted a video the other day about how I'm a girl moder. Now I've stopped boy moding publicly. I've stopped leading that double life, and I won't lie, it's done a lot on my mental health. I feel so much better, and I've seemed to have been able to accept myself more too. I've stopped worrying about whether I'm a real trans person or not, or if I'm trans enough, because all I know is when I'm wearing a skirt, and when people are calling me Pandora instead of my dead name, when people refer to me as she, her, I feel butterflies inside. I feel warm and fuzzy, and when I go out, people talk to me and treat me like a girl, and that makes me feel happiness that I've never ever felt before in my entire life. So why does it matter if I'm trans enough or if I'm a real trans person by somebody else's standards? And I think that's the point. The only person who cares about whether you are trans enough or not is you. So easier said than done, I know, but stop caring. Enjoy your life, enjoy the new you, discover yourself, and work on getting comfortable in your skin, work on getting confident, and work on going out and just being yourself. And questions like this will no longer bother you. And I hope not. If you're ever struggling with your identity, hit up Big Sis, Discord, the Scout Panda, or Twitter, the Scout Panda. I always follow back my babies. And you can DM me there and we can have a chat. I'll just give you a hug if you need it. That's what Big Sis is here for, right? I want to be a girl, and I'm happier as a girl than I was as a boy. So for me, after a year of struggling with this question, yes, I am. And I promise, if you're watching this, especially if you've watched it to the end, it means you are too. Zippity